Why do we use mammographies? It's pretty simple. The United States Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, caps our limit of radiation for each frame, each picture of a mammogram at 300 millirem, M-R-E-M. And that's just a way to measure the amount of radiation you're getting, okay? Typically it's a lot less than that, but that's the cap. So someone who is normal size who gets a chest x-ray is 8 millirem. So if you look at the amount of radiation you can be getting, that's just one frame. So let me simplify this. Up to 300 millirem for one frame times 4. That's up to 1,200 units or millirems of radiation, as opposed to a single chest x-ray, which is 8 to 10 millirem. Think about that. You're exposing yourself up to over like 150 times the amount of radiation on a designated part of your breast. It's insane to think about. Now, typical exposures are not that much. You know, they're probably like 35 to 40 each frame. But still, that's over 5 times the amount of radiation that you're still getting from a chest x-ray on one frame of your breast. It's insane to think about. And that's just for your yearly, guys. You go back how many years now, and you're getting all that radiation dose to your breast, and if the doctor sees something suspicious, they'll call you back for a redo, and now you're doubling the amount of radiation to your breast. Now, why am I hitting this so hard? What's the reason, what's the problem with all the radiation on the really dense, really focused area of your breast? Radiation causes cancer. And if you think I'm playing you on that, think about the last 120 years of medical imaging and playing around with x-rays since their discovery. Nikola Tesla burned himself from playing around with x-rays. He had severe burns on his arm from playing around with x-rays. Madame Curie, she died of aplastic anemia from her lifelong, or not lifelong, but her several years of exposure to radiation. A radiographer, Elizabeth Fleischmann, had her right arm amputated and later died related to complications from evaluating x-ray films. William Röntgen, who is known as the founder of x-rays, the discoverer of x-rays, died of intestinal cancer. So why is the test that we use today the most prescribed test for breast cancer risk and imaging, one that imposes such risks? And I'm going to get into that. It's too much for right now. But just know that we've got greedy insurance and lobbyists. We've got, pardon me for being so blunt, we've got willfully ignorant physicians who don't want to learn about anything new. We think that we're taught everything in medical school and that there's nothing else to learn. That there's only the best way to do it, and that's our golden standard. And it's all chalked up to the fact that this is a huge smokescreen and that early detection is our best protection through prescription of radiation to our breast from mammography. Now, while I agree with what I just said, early detection is the best protection, we know that mammography is not early detection at all. Not only is it not early detection, but it's not a true detection at all. It's not confirmed. You need blood work or you need a biopsy to actually confirm the presence of cancer in your body. The good news out of all this, guys, is once you understand what's wrong, we can understand what's right and start fixing the things and empower ourselves to actually be encouraged to take control of our breast health. I think that that's really special. So we're going to focus on some things here for a second, the different controllable factors that we all have that influence our breast health. So while it's important to remember that the most invasive cancer, internal cancer, for women is breast cancer. Men, we can get it too. It's about 1% of all cases. That's why we should ask, what is it about breast cancer as to why it's the most prevalent in women? Well, it has to do with breast tissue is what cancer cells like. It's made mostly of fatty tissue. Fatty tissue, cancer cells love. They love increased heat, so we get the warmth from the outside of our body. There's low amounts of oxygen that cancer cells love. The acidic pH, so a low on the pH scale. Suppressed immune systems, which happens from our environmental toxins in the food that we eat and just not getting enough vitamins and minerals in our body. High amounts of sugar, processed foods. Even if you don't eat sugar, you could be eating white rice, carbs, bread, and those essentially break down into sugars too. High amounts of toxins, guys. If you live around Metro Detroit, you can just drive over Zug Island, the bridge, and see the smoke flume going up into the air. And I mean, you don't think that that's getting into our lungs and into our bodies? The toxins we bring into the homes, the cleaners, all the stuff that we use, the chemicals that we walk on with our bare feet after we wash the floor with our Lysol and all the other crap. and all the sprays that we use, we're breathing these things in. The high amounts of toxins, the abundant estrogen in our body, and that's a huge discussion on its own. And the last thing is tissue affected by radiation. Cancer cells love this environment, and does it not perfectly describe what breast tissue is. Last thing I'm going to touch on, I'm just going to detail of those factors just real quick. So, I mean, the fatty tissue, obviously, we know that the fatty tissue is mostly comprised of breast. Women, we wear restrictive clothing. We wear the bras and stuff to look cute and to look sexy, but we have to remember that we're restricting blood flow and lymph flow. The blood flow is to bring oxygen and nutrients, and the lymph flow, which I don't hear any physician talking to patients about the lymph system, and I think that we don't have any focus around that in our medical system at all. That's just my 2 cents. But its job is to remove toxins from parts of the body and suck them up. We've got 3 to 4 times as amounts of lymph fluid than we do blood. It's probably pretty important if we have that much, right? So women, if you're eating the typical diet, if you're drinking tap water that's laden with chemicals and stuff that we can't filter out. If we're eating sugar, the chemicals, we're restricting them into our breasts. We're not letting our lymph pull the toxins away. We get heavy metals from the foods that we eat and things that we put into our body and all the other toxic stuff in the environment. Guess what we're providing? We're providing cancer, literally a playground. A playground. I kind of like that word because it is. It's a playground to prey on your breast. So that's why all these factors combined only increases the risk of your breast cancer happening to you. So, I mean, we have the environmental lobbyists and the, corporate greed of everything. So these trends aren't going to reverse anytime soon. So that leaves you up to empower yourself to take this knowledge and start changing your mindset, changing how we're looking at the body and what we're doing to our body, and just know that we need to take control of it ourselves. So that's it, guys. I know it's been a mouthful. There's only going to be more days of this for the rest of the month. I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping so. And I hope that you guys are tagging along in these, and let me know what you think. And just know that you are your most powerful advocate for your health, specifically women and your breast health. These trends aren't going to change anytime soon. We can't rely on the medical system. We can rely on it if we sit on a box of bombs and our legs get blown off, our orthosurgery, our emergency treatment rooms. They're the best in the world. I mean, they kick ass. I love being a part of it. But when it comes to preventing disease, you're your own advocate. So protect yourselves, and we'll get into some more stuff on the next one.